tonight, Texas and UCLA. Here we go, the Final Four is underway.
See UConn starting out in a man-to-man defense. That's the player, Tessa Johnson, that they are most concerned about on the perimeter because of the way she's been shooting the threes, especially here in the tournament.
Here's Latson hooking it up and in. Typical bucket from Tanaya Latson to get the scoring.
With some early fouls.
Strong a three off the mark. Sarah Williams loses it out of bounds. It'll stay with UConn.
To own the rebounding edge and get those second opportunities offensively.
Here's Strong. Handing it off to Arnold. Connecticut, winners of 54 straight, but unable to hit. O'Cott secures that rebound for South Carolina. K.K. Arnold, the head of the snake defensively for UConn, constantly applying pressure. Here's Raven Johnson, 6 to shoot. Bud on Tessa, 3 to shoot. Tessa trap, O'Cott gets it off, and that's going to be a shot clock violation as UConn turns over South Carolina.
Anytime South Carolina has any...
They play off with Williams. We saw Notre Dame do that successfully in the Elite Eight. Here's Shade forcing it up. Doesn't get the roll. And UConn has missed its first 3 attempts from the floor. Tessa Johnson run off from the corner. Needs 3 bodies, and Sarah Strong with those hands. Arnold tosses in. Williams flips it up and in. And Sarah Williams, the Wisconsin transfer, is on the board in the Final Four.
Ryan, anyone who's played in this game knows the first couple of minutes you need to take a deep breath. It's hard to catch your wind, first of all, but the moment is so big you need to settle in.
Here's Latson with some space, unable to hit. Rebound poked out of bounds, and it will be UConn met in the national championship game. UConn won it 82-59. This was the first regular season in 11 years where these teams did not meet. They'll pick that series back up next season. Here's Spud wrapping around. Arnold gives it back. Spud, the most outstanding player of last year's tournament. Looking for help. Shade on the cut. Williams draws 2 and still finishes.
And that time UConn able to make the extra pass and take advantage.
Tessa Johnson with a nice move, just couldn't quite squirt it in. Here comes Strong, spinning, hooking, didn't get the roll, and O'Cott the rebound. Good pressure from UConn, and Bud and Shade take it away. Bud in and out on a 3, and Raven Johnson busted down the floor for the Gamecocks. Latson the fake and the lay. Tanaya Latson as it's exploding to the rim. That's one of the things she brings is her ability to get in the paint off the dribble. Shade adds some space, now finds a seam and lays it in. Probably a big bucket for Ashlyn Shade, who has not shot it well in this tournament. Entered this game 28% from the floor in the tourney and just 2 of 18 from 3. O'Cott is a threat from 3, and you can see Gino Auriemma saying, get that hand up. As that's out of bounds
as well.
Shade told us the other day, all those missed shots, it doesn't matter, we're here. She also said she likes these rims better than the ones in Fort Worth.
I think everyone likes these rims better than the ones in Fort Worth.
Here's Arnold working behind Strong. Jana L. Alfie in for Sarah Williams for Connecticut. A hot potato there. Strong has to pull. And hits from 3.
See her take almost like a retreat step before stepping into that 3. She just makes it look so easy as a 6'2" post player when she catches it on the perimeter.
Sarah Strong, who has been sweeping the National Player of the Year honors. O'Cott, no. Strong the rebound. Pushing pace for Connecticut. Strong looking to take Edwards. Muscles, takes, and finishes. Sarah Strong separating as
O'Cott missed on the last possession. Dawn Staley said she was a little bit worried about the nerves settling in for O'Cott here in her first Final Four.
That was the one player she had that concern with as Tessa slips to the cup. Won a championship as a freshman. Strong, not that time. Okot the rebound. Here comes the junior Tessa. Tessa's pull-up is good. 4 straight from Tessa Johnson to steady things for the Gamecocks. Shade will fire, and it's hit from 3. A long 2.
How about this pace, though? The up and down. We're under the 5-minute, but there hasn't been a whistle, so there hasn't been any timeouts yet. Players settling in. Smart here for South Carolina to settle it.
Raven Johnson off to Tessa. Latson on the cut. Latson adjusts. Couldn't finish it. Okot dropped it out of bounds. It will stay with South Carolina.
The thrill is gone, but the torture remains, and it is just as tortuous as it's always been. That winning, there's a lot of pressure on UConn, and he absorbs it and appreciates it.
Yeah, spoken like a true coach. Thank you, Hal Edwards. Mid-range, no. And the rebound came to USC transfer, playing in her first Final Four. Blanca Quiñones, the impressive freshman, in off the bench, steps out of bounds, and UConn turns it over for a second time.
Blanca Quiñones, who stepped out of bounds, she has been incredible for Connecticut, especially here in the NCAA. The bright young freshman in this game.
McKeer has increased her scoring so much in this tournament as Edwards can't finish. Miriam Dowd has stepped out, and it will be UConn basketball. Hey, take a look at our all-cast there. Courtside of the Women's Final Four presented by AT&T. Yeah, buzz.
You guys should start wearing shades when we call games courtside.
I just have a feeling we wouldn't make them look as good as Courtney and Natisha do. Here is Quiñones, can't finish. And the rebound bangs into the arms of Raven Johnson. Tessa Johnson fires, can't hit. Joyce Edwards the O-board, another chance for the Gamecocks. Edwards trying to work strong. Edwards can't able to finish. Slipped it in with some nice footwork around Sarah Strong. Knocked away by Tessa, who steps. Dee is our rules analyst, so anything sticky comes up, Dee will be here to help guide us through it. Here's Spud, circling, kicking, 5 to shoot. Heckel fading and knocking it down. First points in the Final Four for Kaylee Heckel. Heckel told us the other day when she first got to UConn, she wondered, am I good enough? But Gina Oriema and this team has gotten her so much better that it has grown her confidence as McKeer gets fouled. McKeer drains the free throw. You talked about it before, partner. Agat McKeer, the leap she has taken, incredible. In the regular season, she averaged under 6 points per game. In the tournament, she's averaged almost 15 per game.
And she makes an impact on the defensive end of the floor. She's a 6'1 guard, 6'4 wingspan. She can, John Staley said, the bright lights of this moment are not going to faze that young woman.
Heckel looking for help in Strong. Strong hits the deck, keeps the dribble going. Strong had it poked away. Plenty of time still on the shot clock.
Interesting. Raven Johnson right now has the defensive assignment with Sarah Strong just battling her in the post.
Heckel forces it up and off. Terrific defensive possession from South Carolina. Tessa has a poke from behind, out of bounds by Strong, stays with the Gamecocks. You know, one thing, there was a moment earlier in this first where it looked like UConn might be able to really separate, but South Carolina kept that belief. Tessa Johnson answered the bell, and they have come right back. And now that is a critical foul. Been the X-factor separator for Connecticut this season.
Coach Oriema told us this morning, if Blanca plays like she did last weekend in the regionals, he said, we're going to win this game. Well, she's come out here struggling a little bit.
Is really training to be a good official. That is the correct call. She just went right through that screen illegally.
Under a minute to go in this first quarter. First of 2 semifinals tonight in Phoenix. UCLA, Texas up next.
Again, the versatility defensively of Raven Johnson. They have her, Don Staley has her guarding Sarah Strong right now with this.
Raven trying to come back to the basketball. Calms things down, knows the 2-for-1 is gone. About a 9-second difference game in shot clock. Tessa, hounded by Shade. Latson, 3 to shoot. Latson scoops it up and off. Rebound pokes around. Ends up back with South Carolina. McKeer connects on a 3. Tie game. Taking a huge leap. Came back for an additional year at South Carolina. And it has paid massive dividends for Raven and for the Gamecocks. Start of the second quarter, Blanca Quiñones on the bench with 2 fouls for UConn. Here's Spud, guarded by McKeer. UConn having a tough time getting it going. Raven Johnson is going to get called for the foul in pursuit of the ball.
Looked like one of the hands there to pick her up was Raven Johnson.
Here's Strong, guarded by Johnson. Shade off the bounce. Shade will fire a deep three. No. Williams trying to get to the glass, and at last hits her. Hey, the NCAA men's basketball in the Final Four. 2 times they have both won it previously in the same season. Johnson, Edwards, Latson, O'Cott, and McKeer, the 5 for South Carolina. Arnold, Fudge, Strong. O'Cott giving some space. Johnson twisting, taking, can't hit. Strong the rebound. Pressure in the backcourt from South Carolina. Here comes KK Arnold. Bud meets body. Strong open. Can't hit. Long board. Bud able to save it and is fouled by Raven Johnson. And that'll be number 2 on her.
With the foul.
All right, thank you, D, our rules analyst. Spent 36 seasons as an NCAA official. 5 seasons in the NBA, 26 Final Fours. Bud loses it. Latson has it. Denia Latson dashes to the cup.
Has been all season long is the pressure they put on you on the defensive end of the floor. Even make catching the basketball difficult.
Latson, second in the country in fast break points per game. Bud off. Rebound Latson. Bud now 0-3 from the floor. Latson storming in, gets denied by Strong, and it will stay with South Carolina.
Shots.
Sarah Strong averaging over 1.5 blocks per game. Quiñones in for UConn, playing with those 2 fouls. McKeer can't finish it. O'Cott the offensive rebound. And another chance for the Gamecocks.
Dawn Staley said the one thing we need from O'Cott is to get 20 boards here tonight. She said rebounding is not a skill, it's a decision. She has to be thrilled with the way her center has gone and attacked the glass.
She has 4 already, and South Carolina +7. There's Strong on the steal. Strong gets fouled by McDaniel before against South Carolina while Dawn has been there. And I love the analogy that Gino Auriemma used with us earlier in the season. He said, it's almost like LT back in the day in football, where if you have the football anywhere around him, you're worried about him just on his own taking it away. Sarah Strong has those kind of hands defensively.
Instincts.
17-16, South Carolina in front. Arnold trying to work McDaniel. McDaniel gets fouled on the floor. And KK Arnold picks up her first.
On the perimeter that time, too much contact.
McDaniel, who has grown a lot throughout this season, is a sophomore for South Carolina. Tessa lays it in. Quiñones had to be careful there playing with 2.
Smart to continue to attack players in foul trouble.
Largest lead for South Carolina. Arnold can't finish the lay. Here comes Johnson. Tessa tosses in. Edwards, the footwork, and the finish.
Carolina has been deliberate, either off the bounce or entering it into the post, but getting their touches in the paint.
An 11-1 South Carolina run. Strong lost it off her foot, out of bounds. UConn, such a prodigious 3-point shooting team, 1 of 6 thus far. Shade knocks it away. UConn comes up with it. Here's Quiñones. Couldn't get around Edwards. Shade bodies in and banks it home. It's like a pinball. And it looked like she might have twisted an ankle in the process, limping a little bit. Shade already with 6 points tonight. Tessa Johnson skates through. Can't swirl it in. Edwards the putback. Rims off. This time Strong secures the rebound, but South Carolina has dominated on the glass in this first half.
South Carolina has the all season long.
17-9 advantage on the boards for Gamecocks. They have 7 offensive rebounds. Bud out to Strong. Doesn't take. Gonna drive it instead and finish the lay. 8 points for Sarah Strong, showing some emotion there. Lead is back to just Texas up next. Championship game Sunday afternoon on ABC. Okada on the drive, gets denied by Strong. Edwards can't flip it in. Loose ball, Quinones has it. And possession arrow belongs to UConn. Timeout. Quite the second quarter and first half that Tim and our crew have been capturing. South Carolina, a 1-point lead. They've dominated the glass, but here can't finish. Strong off the rebound, pedaling ahead. Here's Strong behind the back, mid-range, too much on it. Got it back though, Strong can lay it in. And McKeer comes down with it as we check in with Holly Rowe.
In that last huddle, Gino Auriemma told his team, everybody needs to take a deep breath right now. There's 4 minutes left in this half, and we need AZ, Sarah, and Blanca start playing together, run some actions off each other, do the stuff we've done in practice. Too much one-on-one. We've got to get more ball action.
Well, that time, Sarah Strong trying to force it into Fudd, turns it over. The length and athleticism of South Carolina's played a difference defensively.
And the verve that we feel from them on the defensive end of the floor, their activity both with their feet and hands.
Latson working behind Edwards. Latson and Strong the rebound. That's her fifth.
Matches up a little bit better with when UConn goes small.
Bud fires in, Quinones puts it down in a crowd. Somehow was able to hang on and finish. First points of the game for Blanca Quinones, who in the Elite Eight became the first UConn commit. Tessa bounces, Edwards off the mark. Arnold caught flat-footed, Edwards couldn't put it in. Here comes Fudd. Fudd wheeling into the paint, AZ Fudd is on the board. With her first field goal in the Final Four, and UConn back in front.
AZ Fudd, so vitally important to Connecticut on both ends of the floor, but they need her offense. This is a team who has shot the 3-ball well all season long, not necessarily here in the tournament, and she's their main gun from the perimeter.
South Carolina will take a timeout. 2:08 to go in the first.
She's just got to get comfortable making sure her teammates allow her to have that voice.
Well, and Holly, your teammates said, no, don't apologize. We like it when you yell like that. Hegel takes it away from Edwards. 3-on-1 developing. Not well executed by Heckel. Here's Strong. Mid-range. Off the mark. Rebound Latson. Latson having a very productive opening half. Held up here, and the possession arrow belongs to UConn. 2 big defensive plays in a row for Kaylee Heckel. 9 turnovers for South Carolina in this opening half. Here's Strong turning the corner. Shade at 3 is good. Ashlyn Shade getting it done in the Phoenix Sun.
Credit Sarah Strong with the penetrate and kick, drawing the defenders, giving Ashlyn Shade the time and space for the 3.
They call it a 2 for Shade. So the second time that Shade has had her toe on the line.
First 4 games of this tournament.
Here's Fudd firing. No. McDaniel the rebound. Blasting into the front court. Has a ton of speed. McDaniel had it knocked away, but a foul. As Heckel was able to hold up defensively there. About the other day, he said, I don't think people realize when you were a senior, the weight of the world that's on your shoulders this weekend. Everyone's looking at you. So now when you play great, it feels good in a way that you can't understand unless you've done it, which AZ did last year. He said, but unless you've been there, you just can't comprehend what those seniors are feeling. And he mentioned not only AZ, but a Raven
that they're already carrying. He tries not to put any extra pressure on the seniors at the Final Four.
Here's Fudd, giving it up. Heckel, little pull-up jumper, won't go. Shade comes in with the rebound. Fudd, a wide open 3 is off the mark. Caught the rebound. South Carolina can hold for a final shot. South Carolina has dominated the glass in this first half. A +9. McDaniel kicks. Edwards, 3 seconds left. Pops it up and off. And that will do it for the first half. A back and forth. Opening 20 minutes. And UConn, third time in the last 5 seasons, these two teams are meeting in the Final Four. Raven Johnson had it knocked off of her out of bounds. Great dig from Arnold. And it's been the Connecticut defense that has allowed them to maintain a 2-point lead. That's the 10th turnover they've forced.
UConn playing to their strength, forcing turnovers. South Carolina playing to theirs, getting to the offensive glass.
Bud misses everything when she had it. One thing he has emphasized to us over and over again through the years, I don't care if Azie's missing. I want to make sure she keeps shooting.
He wants her to continue to be aggressive on the offensive end of the floor.
And you wonder if at this point the misses are in her head at all. With the way the sharpshooter has struggled. Okot able to finish over Williams. Medina Okot with her first points of the Final Four. Bud and Quiñones with just 2 points apiece in that first half for UConn. Arnold, Williams, easy interception there, tossed it right to Okot. Edwards traps, finds Johnson. Raven floats it off, gets it back, can't put it in, loose ball, Okot has it. Tessa Johnson on the drive, unable to lay it in. Missed opportunity there for South. Shade on the drive, draws 2. And then Raven Johnson comes up with a steal. Raven will lay that one in.
You see Raven back on the floor after picking up those was where she got her fouls.
But again, hesitates. Gonna drive it, misses the scoop. Shade will back it out for UConn. Strong, firing away, can't hit. Latson off the rebound. Latson shovels, Okot gets fouled by Strong. And that'll be the...
Whether it's on steals or even off defensive boards, of being intentional, pushing pace the other way, testing UConn's transition defense.
Okot hits the first free throw for a little more on Medina Okot.
Until 2019, growing up in a small farm community in Kenya, really started training it. It took her about 3 weeks to learn how to dribble, learn the rules, and even learn how to play basketball. But now here she is playing in a Final Four. It's been a quick tutorial, but she has been a fast learner and doing very well.
Great stuff, Al. Just a remarkable story. A 6-0 run from South Carolina. KK Arnold into the paint. Good footwork and banks it in. First points of the game. Shots. UConn may need an Arnold to step up her offensive production.
And one of the things Coach Oram was telling us this morning is that we don't have a player who can just go get a shot out of a pick-and-roll game. They were able to rely on Paige Beckers a lot doing that last year.
Edwards slides inside for 2. Shade can't hit. Sarah Williams couldn't hang on. But after it, and another chance for UConn. And then Bud has it poked away by Raven Johnson. Johnson unable to finish. And no foul on Bud. Looked like she was draped all over Raven Johnson. KK Arnold. Shade with space. Missed it. UConn, a paltry 1 of 11 from 3. Latson gets fouled. And it'll stay here with South Carolina. Quiñones will check in for UConn along with Kaylee Eccles. So now UConn goes with their small lineup, which they weren't able to deploy a ton in the first half because of Quiñones' foul trouble. As Latson hits the free throw. One thing Gino Auriemma emphasized to us the other day, he said, well, people ask, why don't you start Blanca Quiñones? But I always love having someone who this is the largest deficit UConn has faced this season, trailing by 6. In their 54-game winning streak, only one of those wins was decided by single digits. That was against Michigan earlier this year. Heckel missed everything. Here comes Latson. McKeer connects.
And again, South Carolina pushing pace, and they can do it as well when they go small, which is where they've gone here to counter Connecticut.
Misses wildly. Down the floor, great hands from Edwards. Bessa Johnson backing away, firing short, and the rebound Shade midway. Shade curling, taking. How good has Ashlyn Shade been? 10 points on 5 of 9 shooting.
Ashlyn Shade has saved all of her makes in the tournament for this national semifinal game.
Entered this game shooting 28.5% from the floor in the tournament. McKeer off to Edwards. Edwards able to finish through some
finishes here tonight.
Quinones has it knocked away. Latson running with Edwards. Bud digs in and fouls Edwards. That'll be the third team foul on UConn in this third as Joyce Edwards takes a moment. It appears okay.
Right now out there and intense, and feels like they have a real strong belief in their ability to win this game, and you don't feel those same things from UConn.
Well, UConn has looked flustered. South Carolina outscoring the Huskies 14-4 in the third. And you see Sarah Strong, just one made field goal since midway through the first. Hasn't really gotten touches here in this third. Here's Edwards, gets the whistle against Strong, and Joyce Edwards is...
They had an aggressive mindset all game long, looking to take it right at Sarah Strong when the opportunity arises.
Second personal on Strong. For the 6th straight year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Edwards misses both, and Strong grabs the rebound. Fudd and Shade, the 5 for UConn. Here's Strong getting a touch in deep. Missed the bunny, a rare miss from there for Sarah Strong as South Carolina comes away with the basketball. Here's Johnson, handing it off. McKeer going behind the back. McKeer can't finish. Good D there from Fudd. Heckel off and running for UConn. Shade will fire. Can't hit. Rebound poked out. Loose ball. South Carolina had it. Shade had Fudd to her left but decided to shoot it herself. Latson can't lay it in, and a whistle is going to put Latson. D, any issues with that?
Oh, you have your trail official coming from deep who has that lane of vision to see that A to B contact on the body. There's nothing on the arm, but she does get the body contact. Wyatt came kind of late from the trail, who has that lane of vision.
All right, thank you, D. Our rules analyst, D. Camber with us. All final deficit UConn has faced this season. They just cannot get anything easy on this end. Heckel, bunny jumper, won't go. Strong able to yank it back, and UConn has the possession arrow. Heckel into Strong, off the window, couldn't get it to go. In a crowd, Heckel forces it out to Shade. Shade doesn't take the three. Heckel will fire. Hands hit. That's a huge one for UConn. They have been 1 of 11 from downtown.
It's one of the reasons Katie have offense than Arnold does.
Got it at 37% from 3 this season. Here's Raven Johnson with 2:10 to go in the third. Latson a 3. Back ironing off. Rebound UConn. Trying to put 2 possessions together. Something they haven't been able to do in the third. Strong back to Shade. Shade on the drive. Has it deflected. Fudd over to Quinones. Her 3 is good.
UConn is simply a different team when they are able to make their shots from the perimeter. Multiple players who shoot at a high efficiency just haven't done so for most of this game.
Heckel trailing, going for the steal, and Raven Johnson stepped out of bounds. They were 1 of 11 now, 2 for their last 2. Fudd, can she get in on the act? You bet! It's a 9-0 UConn run. 3 straight threes. How does South Carolina respond now? That's going to be a foul on Zabel. South Carolina in the bonus. And so Tessa Johnson will go to the
Vogue along with her teammates from the perimeter.
Started 1 of 11. 3 for their last 3. Tessa Johnson, 81% on the season. Buries the first free throw. South Carolina, meanwhile, as a team, just 1 of 4 from 3 in this game. Johnson, their biggest threat from downtown. But with space, didn't take it. Quinones will and can't get it to go. An air ball out of bounds off of Heckle. South Carolina can essentially hold for a final shot here with just a slight differential. Pressure in the backcourt from Heckle. Quinones has 3 personals. McDaniel will let some clock wind. Let's see Dawn Staley saying, wait a second. South Carolina, no field goals the last 4+ minutes. Double comes. Johnson baseline. Jumper is good. 7 seconds left in the quarter. Strong with some haste. 2 seconds. Strong gets it off. Can't hook it in.
There's no illegal contact evident, and her shirt wasn't ripped prior to her doing that. I mean, obviously, maybe there was a little tear before. It is unusual to go to an entire quarter without a foul on the team, but there's nothing that has stuck, that's really stuck out evidently that they are missing.
All right, thank you very much, D. Here we go, 4th quarter, a trip to the national championship game on the line. McDaniel goes baseline, can't finish it. Strong comes down with the rebound, and there, foul there on Edwards that was called. After no fouls on the Gamecocks in the 3rd. It's spicy in Phoenix. Here's Bud. Bud on the drive, little floater won't go. McKeer comes up with a rebound. Here's McKeer all the way in, lays it home. But God McKeer, a difference maker. And after UConn had shaved the 10-point deficit down to 1, it's South Carolina who has scored 6 straight points. Here's Strong. Poked away by Edwards. Quinones after it. So is Strong. And a foul on Edwards. That'll be her 2nd. Dawn Staley talked about how she had absolutely no worries about McKeer in this stage, how she's built for it. As Edwards picks up another foul, her 3rd already in this 4th. D is the messaging from Gino playing out here as Bud connects her 2nd straight 3.
Well, I'm not in the officials' head, but obviously coaches do impart their opinions to try to persuade officials.
Thank you, D. McKeer gets fouled by Fudd. 45.5% on the season. After missing her first 4 attempts, has hit her last 2. 4-point game. UCLA, Texas up next. Raven Johnson's leaner drops off. Quinones the board. Here comes Arnold. Strong back. Quinones. No. UConn now 5 of 17 as Heckle comes up with a steal. How many big plays has she made on the defensive end tonight? Haley Heckle's first Final 4. Heckle on the drive, denied by the SEC to get it into Arnold. 4-point Gamecocks lead. Bud curling, catching, taking. No. And McKeer the rebound for South Carolina. Strong trying to knock it away. Bud comes in. Every possession just so intense right now. Edwards gets fouled by Strong, and that'll be nothing to draft. So 3 on Edwards, 3 on Strong, 3 on Quinones. Johnson waiting. Arnold battling, took it away. And that's going to be a held ball. UConn has the possession arrow.
K.K. Arnold did it.
UConn this season first in the nation in points off of turnovers. Just under 33 a game. Bud, the senior, off to Strong, the sophomore. Quiñones, the freshman, gets fouled by McKeer. And Quiñones will shoot two. At the line, as we check in with Holly Rowe.
One of the more intriguing journeys in March Madness, Blanca Quiñones was a 12-year-old playing in Ecuador when some scouts from the Italian national team saw her play. She was so good, they convinced her and her mother to move to Italy. She started playing with the senior national team, 13 years old. She's been there playing. We'll set her aside today, but that experience internationally has served her well.
Go down, Ollie, 15-plus points, her first 4 tournament games. 2-point game now. In this fourth, McDaniel wrapping in and banking it home. What a big bucket from Maddie McDaniel.
South Carolina spent quite a bit of time yesterday working against the full court pressure. Handled it beautifully there.
Shade on the attack. Shade couldn't finish. Here comes McDaniel, has a lot of speed. Latson trying to get around Quiñones. Will they score the bucket? No. They will call the foul. Going to ride out the freshman with 4 fouls. McDaniel struggling to get it in. Off to McKeer, a deep 3. You bet! This last possession, it was McKeer from 3. So where does UConn go here? In a big possession in this fourth.
You would want Sarah Strong to be involved in some way, whether she's looking for her own or initiating as the passer.
She has not scored in the second half. Quiñones on the bench. Here is Strong, getting a touch, kicking to the corner. Bud, not that time, too much on it. South Carolina has not missed off of passes in this second half, 7 for 7. They have been the aggressors tonight. Edwards, 7 to shoot. Edwards flips it up and off. Sarah Williams and off the bench for UConn with the rebound. Shade, guarded by McDaniel, 8 to shoot. Fudd trying to come free. Hounded by Tessa Johnson. Strong will fire and hit. The National Player of the Year has been held in check by this South Carolina defense. McKeer on the drive, can't flip it in. Williams the box out. By Edwards, who controls it. Then Edwards in some trouble, able to save it to McDaniel. Latson just gets it across. McKeer lays it in.
Heads up play by Latson, and South Carolina understanding there was only 4 more seconds to get the ball.
McKeer now with 14. Fudd can take out to Strong. Strong on the drive, the mid-range, short. Williams battling, and it's out of bounds off of UConn.
Ball up the floor quickly.
And Gino Auriemma was concerned about the Gamecocks in transition. The focus of his and shoot around today. 6-point South Carolina lead coming on 3 minutes to go. Latson on the drive. O'Cott, oh yes! It is back to 8 for South Carolina. UConn running out of time. Fudd. Fudd through the lane. Can lay it in. UConn. This is the team with the #1 field goal percentage in the country this season. 52%. Strong nearly knocked it away. Now does. Strong after it. Can't save it. 8 on the shot clock.
Also a very quick and good.
Strong backs away. UConn needs threes in a hurry. Fudd can't give them one there. A 13-point South Carolina lead. That's it. They allow us something to reach for. It helps us all grow. It helps us all game plan. Simply beat them. Stifling defense and a South Carolina win last year. UConn stormed out.
4 different players in double figures. They've been sharing the basketball. Different players.
National title on Sunday afternoon. But South Carolina